Hi guys, this is Eve here. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel today. Today's video I'm very excited to do because I am going to be continuing with my decluttering series and I'm going into my foundations and concealer drawer. So we're going to start with affordable drugstore drawer. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Eve. I love all things beauty. And if you're not new, welcome back. If you like this video and would like to see more of my videos in your timeline, please like this video and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And without any further ado, let's get into collection and declutter of my foundations and concealers. This is my affordable foundations and concealers right here. As you can see, it's pretty full at this point. I definitely need to reorganize everything. Some things are going into a project pan and some things are possibly going to be passed along. I've already filmed this video earlier in the year. I will have that video for you linked in the description box. I made a pretty detailed description at the last video, so I'm probably going to be going a little bit faster at this time about the products that I know I've already spoken. So primarily we're going to focus on concealers because this is an area that, as you can see, it just overflowing here. So let's go ahead and begin from here. So this is a L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour fresh wear foundation. Mine is in the shade 405. I love this foundation. I've repurchased this. This is my perfect color match to my skin when I'm just at my normal pale self. I love this. This is a really light wear foundation, one of my favorites, pretty long wearing, and it works with my combination oily skin, so I'm definitely keeping this here. And this a wonderful foundation that I tried this year. It's CoverGirl Outlast Extreme Wear 3-in-1 foundation. Mine is in the shade 810 Classic Ivory, so I really like how this almost sets itself. On the days that I don't have to powder, I don't powder this foundation. It's beautiful finish. This one you guys probably already seen many times on my channel. This is a CoverGirl Clean Matte BB Cream, specially made for oily skin. Mine is in the shade 510. I love this formula. It's so lightweight. I use a ton of it in summer and I travel with this a lot. I love how thin it is. However, it gives you a really beautiful coverage and it's also buildable. This is the next one that I tried this year. It was in one of my unboxing hauls. Pretty Fresh foundation with hyaluronic acid by ColourPop. It is a little bit more hydrating foundation. However, I really like it and it does work with my combination oily skin. I don't have any issues with it. I do need to powder it. However, it's also a really good match in color. This is a Fair 30N. I was a skeptic initially about getting this because it was with hyaluronic acid, and you know, I tend to get oily sometimes from hydrating products. This foundation works great for me, so I'm definitely keeping it. This foundation I briefly mentioned in my previous videos. This is a Wet n Wild tinted hydrator. This is a product that was launched in 2021. So this also has a hyaluronic acid and squalane. Mine is in the shade Fair. Speaking about the products that have added hyaluronic acid or hydrating things into it, this unfortunately did not work out for me so well. It just looks like my skin is completely wet and the product moves around so much on my skin. Even when I try to powder it down, it still moves and almost creates like patches on my skin. I tried it several times and I couldn't really make it work. So I'm going to put it in my project pan only for one reason, because we're going into a colder season. It is December and it's starting cooling down here in Florida. And usually like January, February, the temperature goes down to 30s in our area. I want to keep something very, very hydrating just to give it a shot, see if this foundation is going to work out when the temperature is very different from the majority of the year that where we live. See if this would actually work on my skin. My skin tends to get a little bit dehydrated and more even like drier when it gets cold. So let me see if I would be able to give this one last shot before I declutter it. If that doesn't work, then I will definitely declutter Declutter. This two foundations you guys may have seen on my channel here before. This is by Ordinary brand. So the packaging is the same, but they're two different foundations. This one is a serum foundation and this one is a coverage foundation. The packaging looks identical, however the formulas are completely different. The serum foundation is very thin runny formula, light to buildable coverage, and a coverage foundation actually has a really nice medium buildable coverage, but it's so beautiful on skin. I've used it so much, so I'm currently giving this product a break, but at one point when I picked it up I was using it nonstop. So I'm going to keep this here in this drawer, and then the serum foundation I'm going to put it on the side next to Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator, and try it again in maybe January or February when the weather gets a little bit colder. This foundation I picked up earlier this year, and this is a CoverGirl Plus All Day Simply Ages foundation. It does have sunscreen of a 28 in here, so this almost has a swirl of cream or lotion in it, and this is so beautiful on skin, you guys. This is kind of like my new obsession. I've used a ton of it in spring and summer and fall. This literally just looks good on skin at any given time. I usually don't overhydrate my skin when I use this product because it already has cream in it. It is beautiful on skin. It gives you like really beautiful solid coverage. I feel like when I use this, I apply it with a brush and it's just so creamy that it kind of melts into your skin. Sometimes there's even no need for me to go with a sponge after applying this foundation with a brush because it just melts into your skin almost like streak-free. Amazing product. Mine is in the shade 210 Classic Ivory. Definitely staying. Then I have the Pretty Natural foundation by Essence. This is a hydrating foundation. Also, it has hyaluronic and aloe vera. I love this foundation. Mine is in the shade Neutral Vanilla 040, and this is a really good skin match for me. This is a Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. Mine is in the shade 02 Porcelain Beige. I really like this foundation. I discovered it, I think, last year. It literally gives you a second skin effect, and it does have a little like soft matte finish. I really like it. It does have a dropper applicator here as well. I'm definitely keeping it. It's a different, very thin formula. I used it a lot in summer because it's very a nice thin formula, and it has a mattifying effect. It looks like your skin. I love this. So I forgot to mention this in the beginning of this video, that this storage container, this insert, I picked up from IKEA, and it was much longer. As you can see here in the back, it's a little bit like cut off. You can see like uneven edge here because I actually cut it off in half. It was much longer. It wouldn't fit here in my drawer. So I cut it off here and then just kept these three sections, and these are perfect for keeping my foundations. So here in this first area, I keep like lighter formulas, like light to medium coverage foundations, and here in this middle section, I have foundations that are a little bit like medium to fuller coverage. So it just kind of easier for me that way to look for things and see how much of everything I have. So let's go with this foundation. This is by Physicians Formula, the Healthy Foundation SPF 20. This has a brightening complex. This is for all skin type. It's not formulated to any specific skin type. So this is in the shade LC1. This is my perfect match when I had my palest self. This foundation is beautiful. I did mention that in my previous videos that this is like one of my favorite foundation. It has the most beautiful finish, natural finish on your skin with like a light glow. To my opinion, this is also a dupe for a Clinique 2-in-1 foundation that I've been using for years. You may see that foundation when I talk about my high-end foundations. This is a glass bottle, and it has a pretty large doe foot applicator. I love this foundation. It looks like they may be discontinuing it, which is a shame. There's some of this product from this healthy line that Physicians Formula have that I absolutely love. Well, for now, I'm just keeping it. Then this is kind of like a newer addition to my collection this year. This is e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. It's a full coverage foundation, or CC cream rather, with a natural finish. It does have collagen, peptides, and niacinamide in the formula. It does have a SPF 30. Mine is is in the shade Light 210N. I mentioned that before, you guys, that I couldn't get my hands on this product when it was launched for probably several months because the shade was literally sold out everywhere. But then I finally got it. I didn't do a separate review on this product on my channel. However, I did film a full face of e.l.f. Cosmetics video, and I will have that video for you linked in the description box, so you may check that video out. And I talk in the specifics about this foundation in that video. I think this foundation is nice. It does have good coverage. I don't call it a CC cream because I think this is pretty high coverage. So I call it foundation in my language. I don't mind it. I don't think this is like my absolute favorite formula. There was so much hype about this product. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it's nice. It does settle into my smile lines. I do have smile lines around my mouth, and I really have to go with a really light layer with this foundation when I apply it and bake it, like powder it down really well with matte powder. That way it doesn't crease into my smile lines. But I've used a good amount of it, as you can see, so I'm just going to keep it for now. This color actually is a little bit deeper than my palest self, and right now we're in winter, so I don't self tan as much, so I'm going to just keep it here. But then during the season, I'm probably going to move it maybe in spring to my project pan and use it a little bit more once I start self tanning. The next two, I have two foundations by Makeup Revolution. This is Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation, and Revolution, this is a Conceal and Hydrate. This one I think was launched first, and then the Conceal and Hydrate was a second, like a revamped formula. My Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation is in the shade F2, and the Conceal and Hydrate also is F2. This is my perfect match. So both of these are pretty full coverage foundations, I would say, but they have really nice finish. I really like these two. I think I like them both equally. The Hydrate, Conceal and Hydrate, I like just a little bit more because it's a little bit more hydrated. However, I like the coverage on both, and I'm gonna keep both of these. This foundation I've spoken about on my channel a good amount of time. This is a Screen Queen Natural Finish Foundation from Milani. Mine is in the shade 180, a Warm Shell. This is a glass component. It does have a pump dispenser here, and I really love this foundation. I traveled with this a good amount, and I want to say that this shade says warm shell. However, I'm never warm. I'm usually like neutral or cool undertone. I was really confused with their shade range. Let me know if you kind of notice the same thing. If you have this foundation, does it match you or it doesn't? Or you kind of got the same situation that I did. It says it has natural finish. However, I really think it gives you almost like a soft matte finish. It's kind of like in between the natural and soft matte. You do need to hydrate before you apply this foundation, or at least I do. Even on my combination oily skin, I usually use more of a hydrating primer for this foundation, and I usually apply it with a sponge. I really like this. This builds up also. One thing that I really like about the foundation is that it sets itself, and it wears really well throughout the day, even when it's not set with powder. I traveled with this foundation to Hawaii, and that's how I used it there, and it worked perfectly. Definitely keeping this. So these two foundations, you guys, I'm kind of going to talk about them together because they came from Dollar General. This is LA Colors Truly Matte Long Wearing High Pigment Foundation. It's the most matte full coverage foundation that I've ever tried in my life, I think. This is literally like a spackle on your face. This foundation looks good on camera, so I'm gonna keep it here for just those reasons, because sometimes I do like photo shoots, and I like to use something that's like really full coverage, and I'm gonna keep it for that. It's a good color match for me. This is a shade Natural. It's a glass component with a pump, really nice. And then also Believe Beauty. This is a Skin Finish Foundation. This is a little deeper tone than my natural self. It's in the shade Soft Beige. Again, beautiful packaging. I don't know how this foundation is like $5. This is a good color for me when I'm self-tanned, so I'm just going to keep these foundations here for now. I don't really use the full coverage foundations that much anymore. I tend to reach towards more medium buildable formulas rather than complete full coverage these days. However, I like to have some options for the full coverage. This foundation is kind of new to my collection. I added it earlier this year, and I've used this on camera. I will have that video linked for you as well, you guys. This is a Stick by Juvia's Place foundation. What I will tell you is this formula is really soft. My shade is a Luxor. This matches my undertone, however, just a tiny bit lighter, which is no big deal. It's definitely safe savable. It's definitely better than something that's too deep for you or just a wrong undertone. So I can definitely make this work. This foundation looks amazing on photos. It does look makeupy in person. It's pretty full coverage. This also would be a good product to use as a concealer, like a retouching concealer. So I'm gonna keep it for now because it does have a purpose in my collection. So this looks nice and neat. And then let's get into my concealers. So this one is not new, obviously. I've had this in my collection before. This is a new repurchase. I've recently just picked it up. This is my perfect spot concealing shade. This is a shade 330 Ivory. This is a foldable full wear from L'Oreal. I'm definitely keeping that. Then I also have these two concealers. This is a CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer. I have them in two different shades, obviously the highlighting shade and the contouring shade. The highlighting shade I have in an L100 Fair Porcelain, and the contouring shade is a Warm Honey. I love this. This is an amazing concealer for under eye. If you really need to conceal a lot of things and brighten a lot of things under your eyes, this is amazing. Also, it doesn't crease as much as other products could with such a high coverage. This product is a pretty new. This is from Wet n Wild. This is a Mega Last Incognito Concealer. Mine is in the shade Fair. I believe I've tried this on camera. This is pretty high coverage concealer. It's pretty thick formula too. So you need a teeny tiny amount. I think that this formula would be good for spot concealing. I will just keep this one for now because it's a new product. I also tried this Pretty Fresh concealer by ColourPop. It also has hyaluronic acid attitude. Mine came in a Fair 20N. This is a really good color for me for my under eye. I really like this concealer. It has a high coverage. However, it's really easy to apply and it doesn't crease that much. I do have under eye lines, minor, but they're still there. A lot of concealers, most of the concealers crease under my eyes. So I always look for textures that crease a little bit less. So that's good enough for me. So when I say it doesn't crease that much, you kind of know what it means. I kind of feel like I needed to explain myself here. So I'm definitely keeping it like this formula a lot. All right, these two guys are here by Ulta Beauty. I have also two different shades. This is a full coverage liquid concealers, Cool Light and Light Neutral here. This is highlighting shade for me. I like it for under eyes. It does have a little like pink undertone, so it cancel out the darkness, and I really like how it's a very pointed applicator and it's pretty flexible also, so it's really comfortable to use. The other one is my spot concealing shade. I really like this formula. I've had this before, and these two are repurchases from this year. These are like completely brand new tubes for me, so I'm definitely keeping these. This is by Juvia's Place concealer in the shade 19. This is a perfect concealer for me for spot concealing. A huge doe foot applicator here. This is a full coverage, however, it just gives you flawless coverage. I've never tried this concealer under my eyes. It could be a little bit heavier formula, so I actually heard this from a few people that this didn't work out for them. It was too heavy for under eyes. However, I've only used it for spot concealer and I absolutely love this. So I'm actually going to put this in my project pan because I've had this for some time and it's just a little bit left here. So I'm going to try to use this up. Hey guys, I really wanted to talk to you about these. So they're not all the same from our Makeup Revolution. They were launched this year and I initially bought one. So this is a eye brightener, illuminating concealer, and has vitamin C added to them. This is kind of like a stick that has a little sponge. It gets pretty messy because you can't control how much it comes out, really. You kind of can, but you also can't. I really like this so much, couldn't stop using it. So I actually repurchased two more, but in two different shades. So what I like to mention here is that when I purchased this original one, it had a different package and it had this letter R here and it has no shade here, nowhere. So when I wanted to repurchase them, that's when I was confused. I really thought it was just one brightening shade for the under eye, like a one universal shade. However, when I went to repurchase them, the top was different. Now we have two different shade names here. I have a light one and a porcelain. The light one is a brightener and another one is used for spot concealing. So I really like this formula. It almost feels serum-y. It melts into your skin. This is a wonderful concealer when you don't want to do makeup. It's like no makeup days when you just probably want to put something under your eyes to make you look a little bit more awake. However, you don't want to do the rest of your face of makeup. This is perfect because even if you use it on bare skin and just it blends in into your skin so nicely that you can't even tell you have something, but it works. It does cover, it does brighten. I think it's one of the greatest formulas that I discovered this year. So I'm going to put these two back into the drawer, and this other one goes into my project pan. This also is an amazing formula. This is Age Perfect Writing Concealer. Mine is in the shade 100. I also wanted to mention, this is almost done. I actually should put this into my project pan and just finish it finally. I love this. However, I wanted to mention something. So this seems to be the lightest shade available. However, this is not very bright for my under eyes. I really wanted to try this product for my under eyes. However, this shade perfectly matches me overall. I use this for spot concealing. If you guys have seen it in a lighter shade, let me know please in the comments below, because I would love to have this in a lighter shade, but I haven't seen it available anywhere. I'm putting this in my project pan. All right, guys, so this is a Camouflage Matte Concealer by Essence in the shade 10. It has pointed applicator, almost like a heart shaped. I don't even know if it's available anymore. Essence changes their products so much and they discontinue their products so quickly that even sometimes they're good and they discontinue their products. So I'm actually gonna declutter this because this has been in my collection for quite some time and I think it's actually reached its expiration date. Okay, this next product is Instant Age Rewind Eraser. This is a multi-use concealer by Maybelline. I absolutely don't like the packaging. The only reason why I ever bought this because I never tried this before, and then there was just so much hype about this product for over the years. I think it's okay. I don't think it's the most brightening concealer. It's a really nice thing formula that blends out easily. So I'm just going to put this in my project pan again because I just want to use it up. This is okay concealer to just use casually on every day. I would not use this for an outing, for example, when I need my under eye fully concealed. This is not the product that I would reach for. It is a lighter formula and it does give you like okay brightening effect, to my opinion. Oh my god, you guys. Oh my god, this is definitely a declutter. This is a concealer from Kylie Cosmetics. I actually really like this concealer, but oh my god, do you guys see what's happening here? Oh no, no. This is a declutter. I, however, like this formula. It was really good spot concealing shade for me. I unfortunately can't see what the shade was. Everything rubbed off. I know that she rebranded and she changed a lot of packaging. I'm not really interested in this brand. I tried it once several years ago just for the curiosity. I picked up a few products from the brand. I am not interested in her brand generally, so this was kind of like a one-time thing for me to try. I don't even know if she has different concealers. Honestly, I do not follow her brand. e.l.f. Camo Concealer, and this is the original one. This is a really good concealer for under eyes. It's a full coverage concealer. I am going to put this into my project pan also because it just needs to be used a little bit more. These next two, again, are from Makeup Revolution. Both of these are Conceal and Hydrate concealers. This is a radiant concealer with medium to full coverage with hyaluronic acid, and I have them in two different shades. This is C3 and C6. C3 is my highlighting shade that I use for my under eye area, and C6 is better for spot concealer. And for me, I love this formula. It had like nice a large doe foot applicator. I just enjoy them so much. I think this is a good formula that looks nice. It gives you coverage. It doesn't crinkle. It doesn't settle into your pores. If you've tried these concealers, let me know if you like them as much as I do. Last but not least, this is a concealer by Maybelline. This is a cover stick. I have this in the shade Fair. You guys, this is very dirty and it's been used and abused, and I will tell you, it looks really ugly. Please don't judge. This is a concealer that I keep for when I play with makeup. You can find it in Walmart for just a few bucks, and this has been around for ages, decades. So I just keep this when I play with makeup. I don't want to use products that I normally use, even though I do have a larger collection and I could probably use other products. This was also the first concealer that I've ever gotten when I was in my early 20s. I usually keep this here and it's gonna stay here. I'm putting these four products to my project pan, and they're different textures and some difference in shades, so something for me to work on. All right guys, so this sums up my video for today. Let me know how I did. What do you think of my collection? Do you think I should try some new products? What is your favorite current affordable foundation? If I don't have this here in my collection, let me know. Maybe I should also try some of your favorites. Let me know in the comments below, but I think it looks nice and organized, and I can kind of see where everything is and how much of everything I have, and also I have some room to grow here. So if you like this video, give it a thumb up, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you go. And thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in my next videos.